Hi, welcome to Dice Control Dojo. I'm Phil and I practice every day and share my tips so we can all get better at the casino. Today we're going to talk about knowing your bets. Why is that important? How do you practice it? Making sure we know the payoffs and racking your chips. We're going to talk about all that. But first, this is day 79, video 79. And in that, I am going this morning I threw 36 times, and I'm going to post that right up over here in a little bit speed up motion on my throws and share what my first of the 10 days before Vegas throws, 360, to show you, hopefully show all of us how I improved from my first 10 days to now. Did I get better? Is there something I am screwing up? Is there something I need to tweak before we go? So these are my top, my last 10 days. And then right before I go to Vegas, I'll analyze those numbers on what my plan is. Hopefully, I have some positive energy to share with all of us as I get on that plane to Vegas. I'm hoping this experiment wasn't a wasted time. But I'll tell you something. I had tons of fun. I loved all the videos the comments everybody keeps talking about my videos. I love the fact that I got to learn a lot about myself and a lot about how I practice. And hopefully when I get back to my coaches and my mentors this year and I discuss it with them, we tweak it, and then I can share all those new tweaks with you as we move forward. But today, we're talking about knowing your bets. So, Dave, when you get to the casino, you have to practice this. So, on my practice at the end, when I'm doing my 36 throws after I practice, I'm always using my betting strategy. Now, this could cause issues with people that don't use the same strategy every time they go. I'm talking about the betting strategy that you're using when you're throwing, okay? Not what you do with everybody else. And why I want you to make sure you know you're betting. When you're betting, and the pros will know this, is there's no time. You want to make sure you get those dice and get off without a hitch. So as soon as the dice go out, and then the dice are out on your first throw, you should know what your betting strategy is. You should have you know what you're betting. First off, do you know what your minimum loss is before you get out of there? Do you know what your maximum profit is before you get out of there? Do you have the right chips here to make the quick bets? If you're betting all green, why do you have anything else, right? If you're betting red, they're going to give you as much green as possible because they're going to they want you to bet green, and you don't want to keep turning it in asking for more money, especially on your bets. So when you come in, if you're not the first one throwing, make sure you have your rack set the way you want it, okay? So that you can make quick action of the bets. The last thing you want to do is be worrying about betting when the stick man has the dice here and there's like dice out, and then you're still like, was I gonna put a prop bet on? Was I going to put a come bet down? Do I have this down? This should be automatic every single time. It should be just as muscle memory as in you're grabbing the dice and going, because you don't have time to be sitting here thinking about that while you're trying to prepare yourself. Get the dice, so they come out. Now the dice are coming over to me, right? I have to make sure, where's my threes? Am I preparing my threes on top? There it is. Now I have the dice out. Say I have a bet here. Say I have a bet here. So everything's out, right? So I have to know this has got to come over and go out, and very quickly. so I hit my point. So here we go. So I hit the point, right? Which is good because now we're going to relax. They're going to do all the payouts. Not only do you have to know what your bet is for that, right? Not only do you have to know what your bets are, you have to practice so it's mental memory on what the payout is. You can't be betting all kinds of random bets out there and not knowing what the payout's going to be. Okay, so if I had a 5, on that, I had a $15 pass line, and I put odds behind it, right, of $60. I have to know that my payout is going to be 105. They're going to be giving me 105. Boom. I got to know that. So when they pay me out, I have the 105. I can put it in my rack, and then I'm ready to go for my next betting. You cannot goof around with that. So whatever it takes to practice that might be a lot of practice at home on what payouts are so it comes out quickly. That's why I don't mess around with a lot of different strategies. I try and stick to the same thing every time. So when I'm throwing, I don't want to think about that. Another option, if you're working with a team, is you could have somebody else betting for you. We've never stepped to that next level of doing that so that I don't have to worry about it. I can just put a pass line bet and maybe some odds, and then somebody else worries about my betting. As a team, a lot of people do that. They may team strategize, put their money in, and then when you're throwing, I'm just worried about the pass line and that. We haven't done that because there's a couple things with that. One, I want to concentrate on what my throw is, so that's okay. But also, two, there's a lot of action going around in the casino that's different at home, and one of those is paying the payouts. There's a lot of time wasted, right? And then if I'm just worried about my pass line bet, I get my rewards, I sit here. Now I'm sitting here, maybe it was a hard 6, and they're paying out those. Maybe they're paying out, or some guy's disputing some guy like that's next to me, maybe discussing what the payout was, what he should have got back, and he's sitting there with his chips in his hand saying, hey, did you pay me right on that? And there's a lot of time wasted. So I don't mind putting my own bets up because I can kind of concentrate on that a little bit while all these distractions are happening. And those are distractions you don't see when you're home here. That's why you got to get out and do some live practice so you can get through the chaos that may be next to you. So with that being said, so I'm coming out on my next practice, my next throw, right? And it's live at the casino. I'm sitting here and we got a payout. There it is, the number 9. So now I have to instantly know this is my pass line bet, this is my bet, this is what I'm doing moving forward. So that when these dice come back up here and everybody's putting their stuff down, I have my bets out. That's over with. Now I'm concentrating on those dice and I'm visualizing my next throw so that when they bring those dice over, I know, because I've been watching, here's how I get to my 3-3. Then I start my practice, my breathing, my relaxation, and then I go. And there's an 8. So then this is no thought, right? I just know. What's my bet for the 8? That's it. I got my bets up. They're doing all their payouts. These are coming up here. See how fast it was? If I got paid, I put it in the rack. Also, too, when you're collecting from the rack, how do you want to collect it? I'm always putting them in order, but some people want to put their profits over, and that's fine. So say I put my profits over here. Do you practice that at home? Is that where you're going to put it? Because guess what? What if you have your practice up here and your hand now is messing around down here, right? This is where I like to put my hand. Now my hand has all these new dice here, chips here. So you got to practice that at home. I just can't tell you enough how important it is to make sure, okay, when I get to that table, I'm going to eliminate 75% of the things that are going on because I've already worked that out at home. So the dice come over to me. I know instantly where my threes are at the top. So I can get up here, relax, do my breathing, and get that next one out. And there it was. It was a 4-3-7 out, as always. So then I know exactly what's coming back to me. I lose everything else, right? And then we start over or we move on. So then you can relax, okay? Now you put everything in your rack, you get everything done, you can write down what you're doing and move on. So important, making sure you know what your bets are going forward. You've got to be home, you've got to practice it. You not only know what you're laying out, you've got to know what you're getting back. Sometimes they make mistakes. Sometimes they pay the wrong people the wrong things. You're throwing. You can't be worried about that. You have to be able to know, I'm getting $51 back on that. All right, here's 51. Done. Now I can move on. Boom. Your goal is to get back to a mantra that you're doing a nice, consistent throw and everything's done. But you can only do that if you practice at home. So, review. Make sure you're practicing your payoffs, practicing what your rack looks like, practicing what you're going to do when you're at the table. Where are you putting your profits? How are you marking down? Are you monitoring your rolls? How does that look? Do it at home so you're ready to go at the casino. So join me tomorrow where we're going to talk about getting the dice. I was talking about getting the dice, what we need to do to be prepared for getting that dice so you can switch it quickly and get it off. We're getting closer to Vegas and I'm getting excited. So join me tomorrow where we talk about getting the dice. And as always, the best betting strategy, don't follow what I'm doing, but the best betting strategy I can share with you is how to throw for a long, long time.